Testing, 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 testing. My crew.
Let's go round again.
That's for yourself.
Oh,
A little gift
oh
from
my
me.
God, this is hilarious. Hello there. I start singing with my croaky voice.
I keep bouncing my big hips everywhere.
Oh, you're like me. I knock people out with my hips.
Do you?
Yeah, walk down a road, I don't see them. They're on my left side. I sit, they're balanced, I clip them and they go reeling.
I don't know what my excuse is then. Let's get a bit of light
You just
in
need
it.
a wide berth.
Yeah.
But they don't. You should have a sign. I need a wide berth, please.
I don't know. Yeah. Well, here we are, October Red Boxing. We are here with the mother of all mothers, Marvel. Is it Opara?
Yeah, opera.
Opera. Welcome to October Red Boxing. Good morning from Manchester.
Good morning, everyone. As you can hear, I'm a bit croaky, shouting from last night and partying since the train journey up. Ended up on the 20 stories roof garden. Carried on partying, got to the fight, had a few drinks, and then partying to the end of the early hours of this morning.
And that will explain why I got the 5 a.m. message to say, I am here, get up here this morning.
Yeah.
First of all,
I was just going to bed.
And I was just getting up. I was going to message you last night and say, I'll get up really early, so don't worry about messaging me early in the morning. But you read my mind because the message came through.
Yeah.
But thank you. It's an absolute honour and a pleasure to have you as a guest.
Okay.
This is something that has been 2 years in the making. Am I all right to post the DM I sent you 2 years ago?
Yeah, you could do that, yeah.
And what made you come across that message to reply to it?
I don't know. I stumbled it by accident because my phone talks to me and I said, what's this? You know, I think I clicked on something of yours because you like something. So, and then, I don't know, something popped up and I was like, and he started talking. So I started listening. I'm thinking, oh, this person wants to talk to me. So I messaged you back.
2 years later, but better late than never. Last night then, a fight that your son has gone into. Yet again, another fight where people have made the presumption that he might come out the loser. Now, you're his mum. You know him better than anybody else.
Yeah.
What is it like from a mum's point of view, watching all of this from the background, watching your son go into these fights?
Yeah, well, you know, from the start, when he did his first fight, and it was a 10-rounder with Ian Lewison, and I was climbing Kilimanjaro at the time. So I phoned him up. I said, yeah, I've reached the summit. I thought it was the same night, not knowing it's a time difference. Mum, it's tonight. I said, okay, then you better win then.
Love it.
And he won. So, and that's unheard of to have your first debut, a 10-rounder. So he made a statement then, and he's been making statements ever since. But still, they seem to write him off. Oh, he needs to step up. He needs to step up. Well, he stepped up last night, so what are they going to say now?
And that is a very good question.
Yeah.
Joseph Parker is a really good opponent. We know who he's fought before, and this has literally set the levels now. Your son, Joe Joyce, is going to be knocking at some doors. And I tweeted it last night. I said, a couple of heavyweights are going to be calling in sick in the morning. Because I think a few of them are going to be avoiding that.
There's nowhere to run. There's nowhere to hide.
Literally.
The juggernaut's coming. Dun, 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 dun. You know, a bit like Jaws.
Literally. Where does he get that from? That has got to be something that he's carried from a kid. I know he was in the Olympics. I know he was hard done by and wrongly done by in the Olympics.
Yeah.
But talk to me a little bit about your son's mindset and how he's almost like he's just stone cold in the ring. He just switches off.
Yeah. Well, I think he's always been like that. I think from a young age, because he's always watched me do all my different pursuits and exercises. And even when he was like 2 years old, he was imitating me doing my yoga. I'd take him to African dance with me. He'd do dancing. He always sees me being active. And always sees me exercising. So it's become second nature to him. and it's just part of his way, his lifestyle. So I think when he puts his mind to something, a bit like me, just throw yourself into 100%. And because he's used to doing exercise, it's just like breathing, because that's how I see it too.
I'm inclined to agree with you there, because he just walks through it as if it's just literally a matter of course. You can't see any facial expression, any emotion. Say, for example, when he's starting to up the gears, which we saw when he started to push Parker back, I'd say probably from about round 3, round 4, Parker started to think, hold on a minute, he ain't going away. And he's taking shots and he's still coming forward.
Yeah. You have to just keep pushing forward. He sees his mum pushing forward all the time in life. My motto is someone's always going to say yes. So you just keep going. And I've always tried to prove to my mum, yes, I can do it, because you would say, oh, because you can't see, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I can. So it's almost, he's adopted that. But yes, I'm going to show you guys I can do it. And he's doing it.
It's like that defiance that he's got in him. But we'll move on to you. You said, is it partially sighted?
I'm registered blind, so I can't see anything in my left eye. And I got about 7% in my right eye. So
okay. And when did that come on? Or were you born like that?
No, I had an accident.
Right. So. Okay. And that obviously affected your sight.
Yeah.
And how old were you then?
Quite young.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
So that means I'm looking at it from, like I said, from Joel's perspective. He's obviously seen his mum always be a fighter, always say, look, it doesn't matter. Look at me. And if I can do it, you can do it.
Yeah.
So it's just connecting the dots with how he's got that mindset. Is he just seems to like just bulldoze through absolutely everything. And obviously that's a testament to yourself.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Sorry, my throat's going.
I should have got you the honey before I came in. So ringside then, you sat there and you're watching it ringside. The emotions, like you said, obviously, the vision is not really there. But you can feel that energy in the crowd. Talk to us about that, Marvel.
Yeah, so they gave me these headphones from TalkSport Radio to give me an idea what's going on, of the action.
Yes.
But I'm still tuning in with the crowds, and what was going on with the crowds wasn't lining up with what they're saying on TalkSport. They were still very biased towards my son, sort of writing him off, saying, yeah, someone had him 2 rounds up or whatever. I don't know. I'm thinking, are they watching the same fight as the rest of these people?
Tell us, yeah.
Yeah.
What they're actually saying. So when you listen to, and I tend not to listen to commentary because of that.
So when they start doing that, I just take the headphones off because I don't want to listen, because they just, it's almost like they'd already wrote him off already. And if it had gone to points, I swear down, it probably would have gone to Joseph Parker. So
you really believe that?
Yeah, and I always say to my son, do not let it go to points.
Okay.
Not after what happened in the Olympics.
And that Olympics, you can go back to that when that happened, and we all won that. You know that he won that fight.
Yeah, what was really bizarre about all that? There was a whole load of French people behind us, and because like when you're in the arena, you don't get scorecards; you just get the result at the end. And all these French people behind us are saying, "No, that's not right. The other guy won. The other guy won." Even they said so.
So when you're there and you're listening to that, and he knows that the decision's wrong, but they've made it now, we can't turn back the clock as such. What was Joel's reaction to that?
Well, it was awful, because everywhere we went afterwards, you got robbed, mate. You got robbed, mate. I thought, if someone's going to say that again, I'm going to deck them. Yes, we know he got robbed. And it's just like, all he wanted to do was, okay, he was, really heartbroken, obviously, and he just wanted to move on from it. But it was reminded for months afterwards. Even now, they're still going. So, Frank, if you're listening, make sure that you sort this gold medal out, because he's still waiting for it to come through the post.
Yeah, because they've overturned the decision, haven't they?
Yeah.
What was their rationale? What was their reason for overturning it?
I don't know. I haven't seen the
paperwork.
The paperwork or whatever, what they've, but why is it taking so long? And now we see Tony Yoka got knocked out by...
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
Is it Popoli?
Yeah.
Dealt with him. And it was good. I would message March. I said, you deal with him.
Just tell it how it is.
And he dealt with him. Yeah.
And he dealt with him well indeed. And that was a bit of a shock for everyone
Yeah.
because they presumed that he was going to come out on top.
Yeah. And also, it's like, I don't know. I just don't know. It was because they wanted a golden couple, a French golden couple. He didn't even marry the woman in the end. Just because we had a British golden couple, they wanted a French golden couple. And that's why they gave it to him, I think.
You are joking.
Yeah, and because he didn't even win his semi-final fight.
What?
Yeah, I remember I was watching it with Anna, and my son was going, yeah, he's putting his hand up already like he's won. I don't know. I think it was all a set up myself.
Well, it's got to be if they've overturned it.
Yeah.
But then, we fast forward. He turns pro, signs with Frank Warren. And then we have the press conference. And this is why I reached out to you.
Oh, okay.
It was the press conference with Daniel Dubois.
Oh, right, yeah.
When Daniel Dubois made his derogatory comments. And Daniel doesn't really speak. He's quite shy. He's quite reserved and respectful. So I was quite shocked to hear what he said. I was taken aback.
Yeah.
Talk to me about your side of it.
Well, at the time, I didn't actually hear what he said. So I said the question again. And it was only afterwards when people were talking about it. And he said, do you know what he said? I said, no. And I couldn't believe it. And I think it was Coogan interviewing me, and I didn't really know what was said. I just said, well, it's tongue-in-cheek and, he's in fight mode. But it's when I got home and I listened back and I thought, oh, my God.
Yeah.
And, I was just like, right, this guy's... And I remember even afterwards we bumped into him and he was a bit nervous, and I'm going to him, oh, so you like playing games, do you, Daniel? Do you want to come to Christmas and play blackjack? But I still at that point didn't really realise what he had said.
Yeah.
Because if I had, I would have told him what for.
Well, it was crazy.
And I just thought to myself also, it seemed, like you said, it seemed about out of character.
Very.
And I thought, did someone put him up to it? Because he didn't even answer the question. I answered a simple question, like I can't remember what it was, like, oh, if you are ill, will you pull out or something like that? And he went, no, my dear, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, very, very out of character. But then the fight went in, and Daniel Dubois was the A side going into that fight yet again.
Yeah.
They didn't believe the skill of Joe Joyce. I was one of them that fought. And I'll be honest, that Daniel was going to win. I did.
Yeah, everyone did.
And then when I watched the fight, I thought, hold on a minute. This Joe Joyce is something else. And then obviously what happened, and then the eye, it's almost like an eye curse started. Because after that, there was another fighter that mentioned about quitting. And then they ended up with an eye injury. And it was like this knock-on effect. I called it like the eye curse that started with Joe Joyce.
Oh, my God. So who was the other person then?
I think Daniel Dubois said something, obviously, about you to Joe.
Yeah.
And then Daniel Dubois ended up, I think it was fracturing his orbital bone.
Oh, okay. You mean eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. That
yeah, so it's just
and
kind
some
of like...
people were saying some people was making comments like it's karma, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. So, yeah, it was quite ironic. Ironic. Sorry.
You know what? If I was on camera, I would laugh with you, but it's just going to look like I'm... Yeah. But, yeah, it is. It was one of them. But I watched it live and I saw the power and the relentlessness in your son, which he has carried on through all of his fights. I've spoken to other heavyweights that have had the privilege to spar with Joe, and they've said it might look one way outside the ring, but you get in there with him and it's a total different story. He doesn't go away.
They're just getting drowned in there.
Literally.
There's nowhere to run in the round square circle or circle square, whatever he calls it.
The squared circle.
The square circle. There's no way out.
I mean, what did he say to you after the fight?
Well,
because I saw you in the ring and, you had that embrace and that was really nice to see.
Well, I mean, yesterday.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I just, it's all sweaty. I did it again. Next time I'm going to wear an apron, or one of those.
Or toweling?
Yeah, or the hospital PVC things, put that on and then give him a hug.
You must be so proud of him, though.
Yeah, I'm really proud of him. I was like, oh my God. I just had to run to him,
Yeah.
like a mother to a child, just to give him a big hug. And someone was trying to stop me,
Really?
and I was going, "Why is mum?" Oh yeah. So the other guy, no, let her through.
Yeah, there's no stopping mum.
There's no stopping me. If I wanted to get there, I'm getting there.
Yeah, it was an epic moment, and
Yeah.
definitely a statement made.
Yeah. It's just and I hope Joseph Parker's all right. And I met his mum. Would you believe it?
Oh yes, his mum was there.
I
Yes.
want to go and have a Guinness with her. I saw her on the way out, and she gave her a hug and everything. And I said, how do you feel? Because it's the first, no one's knocked out your son before. How do you feel? And she said, well, it's a sport. You win some, you lose some. And she was
Wow.
so cool. And we're going to go and have a Guinness later, hopefully.
Yeah, it's nice to see that, and we saw that with the two Joels anyway. They were amicable, but obviously they had a job to do.
I know, and I think he's realised he bitten off more than he can chew, and it was quite interesting because I listened to a lot of stuff, and he's in Tyson Fury's camp. I was thinking, what's Tyson Fury doing in Joseph Parker's camp? Isn't he under the Queensbury? He should be siding with my son. But then I can see that it's like it's company for Tyson, because Tyson always likes to train with somebody. So I think for that prospect, that's okay. And but what I was listening to, they're all talking in his ear and talking about psychology and all this, that, and the other.
What do you think of that?
The mindset. And I'm thinking, if he needs talking to, that means he's lacking something. He hasn't got that self-belief, even though he says, yes, he believes it now because he used to be doing it for everybody else. But yeah, I think he did go in there to do it for himself, but he was dealing with a juggernaut.
And that is it. I think everybody just makes an assumption because they see that he maybe throws the punches slower, that you can see the punches
slow mo Joe, molasses Joe,
Yeah.
all these things what people call him is quite hilarious.
But it's not the first shot you have to worry about, because that one might miss, but it's the one that's coming straight after that will get you.
Punches after punches, for 40 to 50 punches around, or even more, just coming at you relentlessly.
I like what you said there as well, Marvel, about like the psychology side, because obviously people are really going to start taking notice of your son now, if they weren't already. The real boxing fans knew and know that he's a problem.
Yeah,
however,
they've been keeping him under the radar for so long, and
I
they're
agree.
keeping him there because they know, because within the boxing world, it's a small world. They know they all spar each other, blah blah blah. So they all talk. So it's interesting how Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua, they've been, holding up the division for flipping how many years now with all these whatever. So now they can't hold it up anymore because. Well, now suddenly Usyk has got an injury, but I think he probably just wants to have Christmas with his wife and kids, So
makes sense.
So you come out probably Easter time to fight Tyson or whoever wants to fight him. I don't think he wants to fight my son though.
They fought in the amateurs, didn't they?
Yeah, but that was different in the amateurs.
Obviously, yeah.
My son was very green. He only just started boxing. They didn't even give him southpaw boxers to train with.
Didn't they?
They just threw him in the lion's den to get on with it. So, and Usyk was a go man. I'll never forget that fight. It was electric. It was at the York Hall. It was like something like a carnival,
Wow.
All dressed up with their peacock feathers and everything, drums going. It was brilliant. Yeah.
So where do you see your son going then? Like you said now, they've been keeping him under wraps. Well under the radar, but there's nowhere to run to, there's nowhere to hide.
No.
When you look at the heavyweight division, who would you like to see? Because I know you're quite active in the boxing and you're quite vocal and honest. Who would you like to see your son face next?
Well, I heard last night that Tyson Fury would like to have a go, so maybe he could fight Tyson Fury if AJ doesn't want it, because, AJ's going about, to put something up about the amateur days, which I don't think that was right.
What did he put up, sorry?
I don't know, some video about them sparring. I didn't think they was allowed to do that, so I was very shocked.
Right.
And, maybe it's because, I don't know. But just maybe it's just to make, try and make my son feel small or whatever. But when they spar, they just work on different things. So God knows
Yeah.
what he showed, because I don't know what it was. But it just shows to me that it doesn't. It's not very sportsmanship if you're going to be dragging up something like that, which was supposed to be, almost behind closed
Yeah,
doors.
what happens in sparring stays in
Stays in
spar. Yeah,
sparring.
yeah,
So
it's the
what?
Vegas rules,
So what
isn't it?
happened to the? Yeah. So what's happened? So whatever's happened, what happens in sparring stays in sparring. So the professionalism in that just went out the window. So if is he brave enough to fight my son after he's seen that fight?
What do you think?
Well, look what Usyk did to him. So what will my son do to him?
That is well. It's already going up the Twitter. There is talk on Twitter now
Oh, is
that
there?
them pair should go at it. Also, I mean, obviously Anthony Joshua and your son should go at it. There's been mention with you, obviously your son with Usyk as well.
Yeah.
Even I think Deontay Wilder's name's been brought up and saying how many times would Deontay Wilder have to hit Joe Joyce for him to get knocked out, and then I think somebody tweeted 100.
and then
yeah,
and then and Dante Wilder has to remember that my son gives, when he hits you, he's like being hit by a brick wall. So you're feeling it, and it just keeps coming and coming.
Relentless.
So how many doses is he going to take himself?
It's really interesting out there, but I'm looking at it like obviously from your point of view. You've always been there as an advocate, sticking up for your son, being there.
I done it for him when he was a child.
And I love that. And you followed him through. And no matter, he just keeps on coming through absolutely everything.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see that his mum's there with him, because often you don't see like who's there supporting them going through.
No, I've always supported him from when he was a child doing all these sports. I was always there at his galas, his running, his whatever, cheering. I mean, one day I remember he was doing football and I was there shouting, "Go on, Hoffa!" He came over to me, "Mum, we're on the other side." I'm shouting on the wrong side, so I turned this like, "Go on, Hoffa!"
What a sense of humour.
And he said to me, "Mum, you're just like my cheerleader, aren't you?" So I've always been his cheerleader. His number one cheerleader.
And you always will be.
Yeah.
Listen, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah, thank you.
No, there was no way I was going to miss this opportunity.
Yeah. And it's interesting that my son doesn't say very much, but I listen to these boxing channels and I hear what people repeat statements he says. He goes on about the square round circle, and he talks about getting at the top of the ladder and the snake, going down the snake and getting at the top of the mountain, and his directory going up like this, and they all repeat those statements. It's a bit like Ian Lewis, anyway. She say, what's that statement he used to say? When people say, what I mean, not I mean, oh God, I can't remember, but that statement, there's a buzzword, people go on and on.
Yeah.
And
because they're sheep and can't think of anything individual.
And people do that. And I remember I had an interview with someone, I was talking about, it's the narrative. Next bit, I hear in the interviews, everyone's talking about the narrative, so you get...
The key word at the moment is mindset.
Oh, mindset. Oh, the mindset.
Let's talk about the mindset.
Yeah, the mindset. Well, what about Joseph Parker's mindset then?
Wow.
Yeah.
What an incredible finish. I saw the the state of his face in the
I haven't seen it. I can't wait to get home, watch it on my big TV, pause it so I can look around the screen like this to see every angle. And then carry on.
The thing is, that's what I'm saying. The jab that was coming off Joe, obviously, detrimental to his opponent.
Yeah.
But then I thought, Joe Parker was landing some really clean shots as well.
Yeah.
But there was practically no marks. Your son came out looking the same as when he went into the ring. And I'm like, what?
Yeah. Because he, maybe it is to do with his bone density. Maybe, some people bruise more easily than others.
True.
So it might be something to do that. Maybe he's just thick-skinned. I don't know. My mum was like a chosen horse. He just keeps going, And also, you have to remember, he used to do rugby from a child. So he's used to being rushed.
There you go.
Maybe it's just his body's become immune.
Okay, rugby, yeah, because that means he'll be able to take some
Yeah, because
pressure.
even Johnny Fisher, he did rugby as well, and he's a bit like Joby, like my son. He just
Yeah,
keeps coming forward.
yeah. Johnny Fisher did say in one of the interviews, he said, when you get hit, something along the line, so don't quote me, when you
Yeah.
get hit by Joe Joyce, it sort of like scrambles you and you have to think like where you are and what you need to do next. Something like he will make you reset. Something along those lines to
He's
say,
thinking, oh my God, what's this?
yeah,
It's like a hurricane going through their
yeah.
body.
And I believe that you can't, I really believe that you can't teach power. Power is the natural gift.
Yeah.
You can teach someone how to box. You can
Yeah.
even, teach them the IQ, the head movement, the slips, the pivots, the excellent feet. But power is
Power comes
something,
from within.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's how we're going to end this one then. Power comes from within.
Oh, thank you.
Marvel, it's been an absolute pleasure. October
you.
Red Boxing and the lovely Marvel Opera.
Yeah.
Until the next time,
Thank
I might
you.
drive down to London, who knows?
Thank you.
Hi, and thank you for watching October Red Boxing. Like, subscribe, and tap the bell for notifications. You can also find us on Instagram at October Red Boxing and on Twitter, October Red UK. And remember, at October Red, we stay ready.